Sure. Go. Okay, we have 5 o'clock, so we will call this meeting to order. If we could have somebody call the roll, please. I can call it. Angie Smith. Here. Jesse Mauer.
Here.
Okay, she's on Zoom. Thank you. Oh, and Mr. Mauer's on Zoom. Sharon Raleigh. She's here. She's present. She's on Zoom. Christopher Williams.
Here.
TJ Kathy.
Here.
Bradley Malden.
Here, ma'am.
Veronica Cordova, I'm here. Gary Knuckles. He's absent today. Johnny Montiel.
Here.
Janelle Combs.
Here.
Antoinette Bazowski.
Here.
I said it wrong.
You said it right.
Okay, good. And Daniel Bowen, he is absent today. So we have a quorum. Item 3 is approval of minutes for November 20th, 2025 that are in your packet for review.
Second.
We have a motion by Chief Kathy and a second by Christopher Williams. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Madam Chair, I abstain. I wasn't at the last meeting. I'm not aware.
Okay,
I'm
so
catching up.
that's okay. We have one abstention by Ms. Smith and motion will still carry. And then our next item of business is the action items. So action item number 1 is election of officers. So we have officers for chair, co-chair, and secretary. So we'll start with the chair. Item number 1 is chair. Do we have any nominations for chair?
Why? Anyone like to be nominated?
I will make a motion for Veronica Cordova to serve as our chair.
We have a motion by Angie and a second by, we have a motion by Counselor Smith and a second by Chief Kathy. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you for that. Item 2 is co-chair. Do we have any nominations for co-chair?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a nomination by Mr. Kathy for Mr. Knuckles to be co-chair and a second by Mr. Williams. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, item 3 is secretary. So do we have a motion on the floor for our secretary elected officer? I will make a motion that TJ Kathy be secretary.
Yeah.
I second.
Motion and a second.
Do we have any other nominations?
No, I'm moving this. I like to get my feet wet first.
I think it's vital to mention the secretary has extra duties as far as minutes and agenda. That I don't think any of us want. So we have 2.
We have 2 motions on the floor. Do we have a second for Angie's?
I'll second.
Okay, so we'll take this, we'll do a roll call vote on this, so for, are you counting?
Good.
Okay, thanks. So we'll take TJ's nomination first, actually, we're just gonna take them both at the same time, I'm just gonna go down the row, and if you will, vote for TJ or Angela, that would be great, so, Mr. Malden?
Angela.
Ms. Combs. Angie. Chief Kathy.
I'll say
Johnny.
Angie.
Chief Williams.
I'll continue with Chief Kathy.
Okay, I will vote for Miss Smith. Miss Smith.
Thank you.
So what was the vote? She
voted yes.
Don't forget on her vote is yes, so she voted for herself.
And
Okay, so it is, and Miss Rowley, would you like to vote?
Yes.
Okay, and for Angela Smith or Chief Kathy?
Oh, gosh, y'all.
It's safe.
It's 6-1.
It
It's
is.
safe to go
I'm
either
gonna
way.
go alphabetical order, Angie.
Mr. Mauer?
I'll vote for Chief Kathy.
Okay, thank you. So the vote is 7-2. Angie Smith is voted for as secretary, so congratulations. Okay, item 4 is reports and updates from public safety departments. We have Portales text notification by city manager, Mr. Scott Minton.
Thank you. So what I'd like you to take a look at and weigh, consider as a public safety committee is assisting the city with modernizing and reframing our community communication systems. And what I mean by this is move with the city towards a shift where SMS or short message service, i.e. text messages, would be our first method of communication with citizens, followed by website, and then for deep details, social media posts. And there's some reasons for this. SMS or short message service reaches a wider audience, particularly those people over 50 years old. Several studies, I'm not going to highlight any specific ones, show that people over 50 start to drop off of the other social media platforms and do not seek out web, i.e. Website functions as often as younger people do. By shifting to SMS, it also supports those without internet or social media, and I'll talk about some of those things. Why social media is not enough. If you use social media a lot, which probably most of you do, you understand the concept of algorithms, and the more you search one thing, the more the algorithms drive you to that thing. That thing is not always emergency or community service-based stuff. SMS, on the other hand, is direct. It's active and it pushes information as opposed to reactive type of social media where you have to seek it out or algorithms steer you in a different direction, and reactive where websites require you to go to the website and seek information you may or may not be looking. SMS saturates the majority of the population. Only about 73% of Americans use social media of any type. There's also different types of social media, and people have preferences. Some use X, some use Instagram, some use Facebook, some use something else. Most don't use them all. So when we go to put something on social media and push it out, it goes out to a static location unless somebody has alert awareness on that specific social media app, in which case social media would help. But if they look at their social media on a non-specific frequency, i.e. there's always they go to it when they want to look for messages, there's a latency period. We push it out, it goes on social media, it hangs there, and when they choose to look at it, that's when they'll receive the message. As opposed to SMS, when something happens, it's instantaneous. You post it, they get a buzz, they look at it, they see what's going on. 98% of Americans own and use a smartphone of some kind or a cell phone. 97% of American adults are reachable by short message service, i.e. text messages. So short message service works without internet and it's ideal for travelers, rural residents, and passers through. SMS reaches anyone in the area regardless of internet access. If their phone's working and they get a signal, they get the message. As opposed to social media and websites, they have to seek those out, and rarely are those pushed to them in an active manner. Messages through SMS and timely information pushed to people is essential for road closures, emergencies, urgent alerts, and real-time updates. SMS text beats social media services and websites when it comes to equity and inclusion. It supports residents with limited broadband access. It supports highly accessible information that's distributed to older adults who are in demographics that do not favor seeking out websites and social media sites. And SMS is critical for non-tech users, specifically in rural populations, with 98% of the people have SMS capable phones or devices, but only 73% use websites or social media. There are arguments that alert fatigue by using social media, or excuse me, using SMS text to push information can lead to alert fatigue. But just like we do a Wednesday at noon test of the emergency signaling devices done in a responsible and timely manner, people learn to understand that that's going to happen on a certain time. So when the alert goes off on Wednesday at noon, the population knows this is most likely not some catastrophic event. It's most likely the test that we routinely do on Wednesdays. Very simple strategies with SMS push notifications for routine notifications of residents is effective and avoids alert fatigue when we use clear categories. We identify emergency, operation, or other events in the title lines. We keep messages short and relevant. We allow opt-in preferences, i.e. our service right now, HyperReach, allows different kinds of messages that can be titled and segregated in different kinds of groups, so you can sign up for specific groups if you wanted to. Relevant alerts build a long-time trust and engagement. Research has shown that. And again, I'm going to reference the Wednesday noon siren. We know what it's there for. People don't get worn out by it, and they're not alarmed by it, but they do check to see if there's an emergency, but they don't really die out due to alert fatigue based on the Wednesday notifications. Responsible, timely posts with relevant information that's informative, it's to the point, and it's useful, ensures that people look to this as a first source and that they do not get weary or worn out by alert fatigue. Additionally, using an SMS system that we have at our disposal, it allows us to test that so that when we go to use it, we don't find there's a breakdown or anything like that in the SMS capability. So by routinely using it for routine but important messages, we ensure it's ready when the time comes. Useful timely alerts increase signups and participation, as shown by data supports this. And familiarity of the use and familiarity of the message builds a strong response in real time, and it also assists in emergencies. People are used to it, they're familiar with it, and in some cases, many cases, they look forward to it as a primary source of delivering important information. Some data snapshots: 98% of Americans own mobile phones, and they're SMS capable. Covered some of that. 97% adults can receive SMS messages. 73% of Americans use social media, meaning that 27% are not represented if we use social media sites for distributing information. SMS open rates are 98%. It's distributed within minutes, and it's almost real time, whereas social media posts vary and depend on algorithms. My recommended communication model going forward for distributing important information to our residents is rely on SMS broadcasting first, websites for full details. So if somebody receives an SMS message and they want to dig in and see the full details based on that, they go to the website. And then we use social media augmenting posts for amplification of the information. I propose a motion to accept this communication strategy with implementation in the city within 90 days. Starting by acceptance of this, taking it to council, and using the SMS function as the primary mode of communication. I stand by for your questions.
Is there any questions from the committee or Mr. Minton?
It's not so much the question as a comment. I really appreciate the work that has been put into this to try to improve communications. And I think if this platform fits that need, I think it's a very positive thing.
Thank you for that. Anybody else?
Same thing for me, just another comment. Also, my first concern was message fatigue, and also after doing the research, I believe that if we go about it the right way, which we are, it seems like it is, that's not gonna be a big concern on my part. So I think we've done everything that we need to do as far as that. My other question is, have we looked into what platforms or that we're going to use to send these SMS messages from?
I believe based on cursory research, looking at the HyperReach platform, that HyperReach is capable of doing it.
Yes.
It's in their 15-page brochure, and it talks about HyperReach being more, for more than just emergency notification. And being able to break down into tailored groups, et cetera. So if there were specific interests in specific areas, we could broadcast to those, or we could do resident-wide broadcasts as well. So I firmly believe looking at HyperReach as well within the HyperReach capability to do just that.
Right. And it does have that, like we were saying, the capability of doing that, and by breaking it out into those groups, again, the message fatigue is, to me, not a concern also.
100%, I believe so. Anecdotal example though, just to add, so I went and had lunch today with the senior center. Asked for a show of hands. There was maybe 40, 50 people present. Show of hands, how many people have cell phones? 100% of people raised hand. How many people actively use short message service, SMS or text? All but two. All but two routinely use text messages for communication. Ask how many use X, 0. How many use Instagram, 0. How many use Facebook? About 10 answer. So in that demographic alone, in that group right there, we're missing 30% of the people. And I asked how many now. I said, how many of you know what HyperReach is? How many are signed up? A handful, maybe 4. So we get some wins on that, right? So people know that our first mode of communication is SMS text HyperReach. And that gets out and people populate that, which we will do that, right? We'll work with each other to get that message out. They will be inclined to sign up for that. So we'll have even a broader, more important reach when an emergency happens. And using that as our first mode of communication and wider distribution, we ensure more assistance, timely, accurate, and real time than a latency period of looking to Facebook or looking to Instagram to see if there's been an emergency or something. So it's a win-win across the board when you're asking me.
And so the task on setting up these groups so people can opt in and everything. It's gonna be a learning curve for whomever on city side that does it. It's gonna have to put that together also, so.
Yeah, I believe so. And John, I believe that it will be fair. Although the learning curve, like you said, an application, but I also think it'll be fairly simple to start with something like city operations or city information, city management information, something like that as a group. So you can sign up as group for emergency distribution and operations and information.
Non-emergency
information, non-emergency information. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something we've been doing in the past with the city. I help run that as well.
Do we have any other comments or questions?
Another comment. I think this is gonna be very good for us. I just happened to get an alert on something else and looked at Facebook and saw misinformation about fires in Ruidoso. This would give us a platform for people to verify if they see something on social media, they can refer back to, I didn't get a notification from the city. Therefore, hopefully they'll understand that it's more likely to be misinformation that's out there. Because social media is uncontrolled. People can push whatever they want. And this one is a dedicated, reliable service for people. So.
Good points, thanks.
I have one question. How are people going to sign up? Are they going to have to go in and opt in and then sign up? Is there going to be like a link that they can click on our website to? Yes.
Link on the website.
Okay.
Maybe Sherry talked somebody through it today.
Done that.
Yes. So to follow up with that, Veronica, if you were already signed up for the current system, does you have to start completely over? And you may have already said that, I apologize, but.
Well, we were so excited about this at lunch today that a group of people tried to sign up and we discovered a few stumbling blocks because they weren't familiar with the process. And so what we're going to do in the next newsletter is a step-by-step with pictures so that they can be sure to sign up easily. Okay.
There's actually multiple ways to sign up. You can do text message, you have QR codes. We do have links on the webpage, and then there's some sign up material that Johnny and I had done 2 years ago. But yeah, there are some stumbling blocks that I actually had to talk someone through it over the phone on how to sign up on the internet a couple of times. But yeah, it's a pretty easy and smooth process.
Okay, perfect. And Ms. Rowley, did that answer your question?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think so. just like I'm currently signed up to get text messages. But if someone's currently signed up, or is this a completely new program?
Now, there should be a drop-down menu that is an opt-in menu. And
Okay,
it'll have several, and we will have to write one. This is customizable. It's not one size fits all. So through the HyperReach system, we can add an opt-in for whatever kind of information, and you click that one. So you get emergency information and any information that's relevant to that opt-in. So you don't have to start from scratch. You just have to go back and opt into that function.
okay, thank you.
With it on a QR code, we could slap it on any one of the, I don't know how many mobile billboards the city has vehicles.
Order shirts with them.
It might be
I
a
think
little
the
hard to
first-
scan after a while.
The
But
first concept is to make a decision as to use SMS as your primary method of communication. Second is to find out the methodology to get it out there. Comment on the subject.
No, I didn't have a comment. If there's no further discussion, I would move to endorse the proposal by Mr. Mitten related to updating mass communications to include SMS messaging.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Moulton and a second by Mr. Montiel. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so next step, this will go to council. Okay, thank you. Item B, Fire Department, Chief Kathy.
Oh, as Christine pulls up the presentation, I just want to say how awesome it is that y'all came. Because this is probably the most public we've ever had. So, thank you. Whatever that's worth. I just want to do a quick update for the fire department. That's our new little BFE family crest that we're playing with. And then our mission stays the same. We're trying to be prepared and ready to serve by the highest quality service to our community. As we go to the next slide, a lot of the council has already seen this as part of my annual report, but we have 30 total people at the fire department, myself, 3 shifts of 9. They're tasked by council to provide fire and EMS services to all kinds of hazards, and they're flex staff trained in both fire and EMS. Then we have our EMS billing specialists that do an amazing job. And as we go to the next slide, we'll see that we do have one open position, and that is in preparation for Patty Heflin's retirement, so that we can get somebody hired and so that she can train, so that we can maintain that EMS billing service as we continue. But the exciting thing about this slide is that at this time we have 16 paramedics, 9 intermediates, 3 NT basics, only 1 person with no EMS certification who's in the process of testing, and then we have 23 with firefighter 1 and 2, and then 5 that are working on their fire 1 and 2. As we go to the next slide, we can see the horrible graph of our turnover over the last several years, but we do see a positive improvement due to many different reasons, but the main thing is the hard work put in by our officers and all of our personnel. As we go to the next slide, just some quick data from 2025, 78% of our personnel are maintaining multiple jobs, which is putting a lot of work and a lot of candles burned at both ends. But as we go to the next slide, we're going to talk about some grant funding. We've applied for almost 800,000 in grant funding in FY26. They've been awarded just over 276,000. The next slide just talks about our run volume. It increases 2.6% per year, but it increased 7.3% from 2024 to 2025. The biggest jump that we saw was in 2022, where we had 3,606 total calls, and that was 148% higher than it was at the earliest I have data for 1992. When we go to the next slide, it outlines our responses outside the incorporated city limits, where we had 20.2% of our total run volume, or 645 total calls, 512 were EMS and 133 to fire, averaged out to just under 54 calls a month. Next slide breaks down our run volume a little further. From 2025, we had 3,188 total calls, 87% were EMS and 13% were fire, 142 cardiac calls with 9 cardiac arrests, 103 seizure calls, 182 breathing problem, 193 psychiatric problem, 38 structure fires, and 33 grass fires. Then there's the 837 instances where our running capacity got overran, which was 26.3% of our total run volume.
As we go to the next slide, it's just gonna break down what we put on Facebook for January, where we had 259 total calls in the month, 89% were EMS and 11% were fire. And then you see our response times and so on. But the main thing is follow our Facebook as we do monthly updates. Go to the next slide. This one's one of the most exciting to me. With the improvement in our training and our staffing, we've been able to send people to more advanced training and have more opportunities. At this time, we have 2 of the EMS or EMT paramedic program in Eden Roswell that they'll be done in January of 27. We were able to send 3 to the National Honor Guard Academy in Eddy County Fire and Rescue this month in February from the 15th to the 20th. We had 25 at our Wildland Refresher this last weekend. And then had the great opportunity of a National Fire Academy class going to Clovis in April that is shaping the future that we're going to be able to send all 9 of our officers to. Then we've got plans for a hazmat awareness and operations class, firefighter 1 and 2. And then we're working our plan to determine who's going to be going to those next classes as far as either intermediate or paramedic. The next slide is our ongoing projects. It's always important for us to maintain performance on emergency calls. Monthly training is a big portion of that to ensure our personnel are trained up and ready. And then our strategic staffing plan, we're working with the city manager and everyone in the city to implement. Then we're working with the county manager or county emergency manager on a red flag burn ban ordinance, which is probably the most strategic thing that we've ever looked at putting in that I think would be amazing. I appreciate Johnny's work on that. Of course, continued officer development, personal development, and then building community support. With that, I made some little patches. That is just the patch there, the proud supporter of PFD. I'll give to everybody once we're done. But I think it's very important to reach out to the community and help them not forget about public safety. So that's one of the things that we're going to be working on through our Facebook, through your social medias and other programs. And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Kathy?
I do.
Go ahead, Ms. Rowley.
Mr. Kathy, first and foremost, we're so thankful at the schools for our first responders and all that you do. You've done an amazing job for us and helped with some pretty difficult situations. I noticed on your PowerPoint that you had 38 structure fires here, and I'm assuming that's within city limits. Is that correct?
No, ma'am, that's within our entire fire district, which is E911 response zone 461.
Okay.
Christina, can you go to slide 9?
Yep.
So Christine's gonna pull it up so I can kind of highlight it. It's kind of hard to see on the little map, but it's in the top right-hand corner. It's the kind of lighter green. It's 308 square miles,
Wow.
including the city limits.
Stuff.
It's stuck.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, slide 9, you said?
Yes, ma'am. No. Anyway, it's basically the top
Okay.
north portion of our county. It's there we go. There we go. It's there. It is in the top northeast portion. There's response zone 461.
Okay, and my question is, when, we are inspected regularly, and the last time I was inspected, the comment came up about the variety of colors marked on those fire hydrants, the capability, and I guess area surrounding the different schools. I'm kind of in a unique position where everybody else pretty much has 1 or 2 items, unless you own a lot of property and businesses in the city, you don't come across this. But from what I understood from the different colors, I had my staff go out and look, and is it still that we don't have a lot? Do we know what percentage of our fire hydrants are working and not working? I was told by my inspector that we needed to have a plan B, and I don't know what plan B is going to be for me. Eastern, a large entity, that they at least have their own wells. When we've tried to drill wells, we've been unsuccessful. So I do have a concern for that. And I thought, what a great opportunity, and how can this group help with that? Could you let us know sort of where we are with that, and how can we help get something going to improve that?
Yes, ma'am. So as far as Plan B, we roll with a lot of water to an incident to begin with. Most of our Class A pumpers are equipped with 1,000-gallon tanks. And then we have a 6,000-gallon tender or tanker that we can respond if it's an area that we need that extra water supply. Now, shifting to the water hydrants that belong to the water department, is a common thing that comes up. We really, at the fire department, don't have any say over the water system. That's all on the water department, who has done an amazing job of fixing those hydrants and made a lot of strides. I don't have the exact percentage. I apologize. To get with Chris Mendoza with the water department, and maybe the public works director Pat Gallegos to get an exact number for you. But they have made a lot of positive strides in improving those that were out of service. So I'll work it. I'll get you an accurate number, and well, I'll follow up with you tomorrow.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know they're not yours. I thought you might know what percentage that we are possibly at that are functioning. And I guess, let me ask you this. When you go out to a fire call, are you looking for a hydrant to hook into, or do you feel like you just will be able to use what you have?
So it's always on our radar, and we actually have a book in every truck that maps out every hydrant so that it's easier for us to catch that hydrant, to use firefighter lingo. We also have an app on all of our phones that is our phone dispatch system that shows each hydrant within the city and in the rural water system and the purple hydrants, that gives us those resources. And it's really situation dependent, but yes, ma'am, it is always on our radar depending on how this scene progresses.
Okay, and my final question is, do you happen to know what color means we're good?
Well, so we're good is a really very subjective term. Honestly, the majority of our city being orange is very appropriate for the fire load within our city. If you notice, there's all the hydrants are put on a loop, and there's typically more than one by our bigger industrial or commercial buildings like the schools. That way, if needed, we can tie into multiple hydrants and have multiple water sources.
Okay.
So basically, my answer to that is anything other than black is good.
Okay, thank you so much. That's helpful.
Thank you, Ms. Rowley. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Kathy. We appreciate it. Okay, and item C is emergency management. Ms. Basky, you're going to. You can stay there if you want to, whatever you want to do.
Oh, EJ looks so good up there. Try to match him.
Over
All right, so thank you for letting me speak. If we go to the next slide, we're gonna be talking first about the emergency management. I'll cover some of the grant projects, some last quarter's issues, and some next quarter's stuff that we're gonna go up to. So next slide, please. So our hazard mitigation plan is almost done. Let's just say it's done. It's actually at the state, and it really should be coming back any minute now. The second it comes back, we are 100% good on our hazard mitigation plan. It took about 3 years to get this set up, and working in conjunction with everybody in the county and state, we were able to get this working. So using that grant, I did apply, I put a notice of interest in for a siren grant. I'm gonna use that thing. Right now, we have 6 sirens currently in the city. I'm gonna hopefully try to get 3 more, and those are gonna be the 3 across the middle there. Probably get 1 at the cemetery, 1 at the new fire station, and 1 at the softball complex. Pick those 3 locations because not only are they good locations, but they're city-owned properties, and we already have power. And it's just a little bit less paperwork to be able to get that set up and running. That grant has a pretty good chance of going through, so you have to work with them closely to get that. We'd be requesting $150,000 with 25% grant. This is gonna be working in conjunction with the Roosevelt County's grant, siren grant. They're also gonna request stuff for physical sirens out in the county, in addition to upgrading the software. So this will all work together with the the grant that the county is also looking into. So far the grant has not been approved yet, but it's something that we're looking into and it seems like it's gonna be going pretty well. Next slide. Last quarter, luckily we had a very mild winter. We were ready for a pretty severe winter and we actually got pretty lucky. We had a good cold snap in December and dangerously freezing temperatures and of course our recent actual snowstorm. The snowstorm impacted during the weekend and so it was actually good. It was wonderful. We had a great response. Our warming shelters were active. We had, I think, what, 2 or 3 people to shelter and the entire time. So the shelters were available, but they weren't as needed, but luckily they were available. We'll be working with them in the next coming up quarter for warming shelters. And they're great community partners and we're gonna continue working with them to make sure it gets set up. The pit count did get affected by that. The pit count is a point in time count where we actually physically go out to the county or to the community and try to count people who are experiencing homelessness. And we try to get an accurate count. This is an actual nationwide project and we did our local part. I think we only were able to contact 4 or 5 people locally, but it was because of the, we believe it might have been because of the snow, because it happened 2 days after the snowstorm. So we believe that a lot of people were still sticking into their shelters, but we did make some good communication. I was able to talk to some very, very nice people and we were able to help them and get them some grab bags to help them out in the elements. Next slide, please. Next quarter. So we are looking into a possibly a potentially highly active wildfire season. We'll be working, we're emergency management, we're working mostly with the fire department, helping us with the rehab, trying to get them some water, some food when they are responding to these larger events. We're gonna also be trying to work with a little bit of community education, mostly try to help people understand how to lower their threat around their property when they're out in the county, mowing their property down, making certain that there isn't clutter around their property and also making certain that it's accessible to the fire units whenever they might have to go into the property. And of course, monsoon season, we're gonna have to worry about the stuff that comes with monsoon season. We've got the hail, our tornadoes, thunderstorms have been more active in the last several years. It is a concern that it seems like every year it's slightly worse than the year before. So we're gonna prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Unfortunately, the siren grant that I'm working on, it won't be available this season, but all of our current sirens are up and running. And we're gonna also try to get some more education out on how to respond during a potential tornado or response like that, so people understand what they need to do when they hear the sirens actually going off outside of the Wednesday testing. And then we'll be doing our annual Hyper Reach subscription campaign, which seems like it's gonna be more successful this year. Risk management, we'll talk about what's going on within the city as far as insurance claims. Next slide. This is just gonna be a year wrap up, give you an idea of what happened in 2024 and what we experienced last year. These are public tort claims. We had, of course, the 20 from the year before. We had additional 4 from last year. However, 8 of those were denied. They were determined to not be the city's responsibility. Majority of those, about half of them were damages to alleyway fences, and 7 of them were vehicle damages. We're working with the police department. Police department is actually be doing several defensive driving courses coming up next month and throughout the year. So that is a huge concern for ours, since you'll see a pattern of motor vehicle accidents, not necessarily our fault, but even a defensive driving will help us protect from other people's mistakes. We've had 1 claim this year so far. That's most likely going to be denied. Next one. City insurance. We had 11 the year before, 12 last year. And once again, I always like to reiterate, these aren't pure accidents. A lot of these, more than half of them actually are going to be preventative exposure type things, where people get exposed to substances. They had their PPE, they worked everything just correctly, but we do a follow-up test just to make certain that there isn't going to be any potential long-term. And our new insurance company is requiring that even instances that don't require medical are also going to be written up as a claim or workers' comp claim. So we're going to be looking at more numbers in the future, but it's going to most likely be less or around the same, if not less, actual injuries. And we do have 2 pending this year. 1 vehicle accident, wasn't our fault, and 1 long-term wear and tear on a buildings facility. We're not still entirely certain that's gonna go through, it's pending, and we're gonna be checking it out next week, we're gonna send an insurer down here to look at the roof of one of our concession stands and see if we can get that covered fully, if not partially. Next one. Workers' comp, I was talking about workers' comp, that's what I'm at. This is the workers' comp, but we had 2025 or 24, and then 14 this year, or 24 this year. I miswrote that, it's actually 2021 this year, the previous year. That was a miskey on that, I'm sorry. So we did have one extra one, and once again, we're gonna be trying to do the preventative on that one. We are working with the self-insurance fund to do much more training to prevent some accidents. We did a lockout tryout training. We did most recently we did first aid, CPR, and AED training. That one was actually really fun. I still have bruises on my hand from doing the CPR repeatedly. We're gonna have that exact same training next month because it's a full 6-hour training. So we did 2 of them to make certain as many city employees can jump in on that. And we're gonna continue doing a separate training every month, trying to prevent not just workers' comp, but city tort claims, public, private property, anything we can to try to prevent and just head off any instances coming up. And that's it. That's all I have. Any questions?
You have any questions, committee? I just want to commend y'all, you for working with Mr. Montiel and the county, you know, building that relationship between the two of y'all and y'all working hand in hand really shows that we're working together for the betterment of the community, and it's always great to see y'all in action. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I couldn't do it without Johnny. One of my best partners there.
Thank you, Johnny. Anybody on mine have any questions? No, we're good. Okay. Well, our next item is adjournment. I do want to make one comment prior to the adjournment. If we could have at like an other on like for like the final item for any other business, that way if you know any of the entities have something to add, that would be great for our next one, if you're okay with that, if it allows. So just a suggestion.
Noted.
Thank you.
Next meeting,
Next meeting will be
it's the end of May and that is graduation season. Would you like to do maybe the first week of June?
yes, please.
So it would be the 4th of June. What time? Do you want to do 5:30?
5 always works for me, but I mean, we have to have it as a whole, so if do you like it 5? Okay, so 5 o'clock.
Okay, I'll get it set up and I'll send it out.
Okay, sounds good. So our next meeting will be June 4th at 5 o'clock. You'll see your invite in your inbox. So if you'll accept that, so you have it on your calendar, we greatly appreciate all of your participation for the committee and always being attentive. So thank you for that. And with that, we are adjourned.